Welcome back to another episode of Healthy Hacks in a Hurry. I'm Abby J and I am super excited for today's episode. I submitted a question box on my Instagram the other day all about fat loss, asking you if you had any questions specifically about fat loss, and you guys asked so many questions. So today we're going to dive in. If you're on a fat loss journey, if you're just starting out, or if you're maybe, way into your fat loss journey and you're feeling a bit stuck, you're going to walk away from today's episode knowing so much and having full confidence in your journey. Of course, if you've got any other questions along the way, please feel free to drop them below and make sure you hit that subscribe button now, because I've got so many good videos like this coming your way. So the first question is, does fasting work for fat loss? So fasting is really beneficial for many reasons. The only reason fasting actually works is because it creates a bigger calorie deficit. So when most people fast, they might do intermittent fasting and they create a 16-hour window of not eating and then an 8-hour window of eating. And obviously when you have a smaller time frame, only 8 hours to eat, you're most likely only probably going to eat 2 big meals and maybe a snack, just because you won't be so hungry. So fasting is not some magical fat loss tool. The only reason it works for fat loss is generally because it creates a smaller window that you're actually eating food, so you actually start to consume less food. Question number 2, which exercise is best for fat loss? When it comes to it, it does not matter what sort of exercise you're doing for fat loss. You should be choosing something that is enjoyable, something that is manageable, sustainable, because when it comes down to it, you just need to make sure that you're in a calorie deficit and you will still lose weight. There's no such thing as a fat burning exercise. There's no better exercise for fat loss. You got to just choose one that you enjoy. But also, you must be incorporating some sort of strength training, because strength training can be really helpful in building muscle mass, and the more muscle mass you have, the more energy you burn at rest. So when you're in a fat loss phase, we actually want to really make sure we're not losing any muscle mass as well. And the way that we can do that is to be making sure that we are eating enough protein and weight training. So please don't neglect your weight training when you're in a fat loss phase. Doing more cardio is not going to get you better results. It's actually weight training that will get you long-term results when it comes to fat loss. Question number 3, can fat loss cause muscle pain? This was an unusual question and I'm actually not quite sure. This is one that I probably can't answer you, to be honest. I've never experienced muscle pain when I have been in a fat loss phase, but if that is something that you maybe have, maybe you're training a little bit too hard, maybe you need some magnesium, I'm not really sure, so I'm gonna leave that one up to the public. If you know the answer to this, please drop below. If you've experienced this, please drop your comments and questions below. Question number 4, is cardio or weights better for fat loss? So I actually answered this before. So weight training is better for fat loss if you want long-term results. That does not mean that you should not do cardio at all. Obviously there are many benefits of cardio. It's good for your heart health, good for your cardiovascular fitness. It's good if you want to be running away from a saber-toothed tiger, all of that sort of stuff. But when it comes to fat loss, please just make sure you're incorporating some sort of strength training, because that will help you either maintain or build muscle, which will, speed up your metabolism, because the more muscle mass you have, the more energy that you burn at rest. Question number 5, do daily steps matter for fat loss? Okay, so this sort of ties into a similar question, which exercise is better for fat loss? When it comes down to it, daily steps definitely help, but you do not need to do them for fat loss. So when we think about this question, I think a lot of people think the magic number of daily steps is 10,000 steps a day, but that goal was actually created by a study for elderly people to help them become more mobile and more active and increase their lifespan years and years ago. So 10,000 steps a day is a great number to aim for, but it's not necessarily fundamental on your fat loss journey. Will it help you burn more calories? Yes, but not many. But I think the best thing about walking, and why I get my clients to make sure they're incorporating some sort of step target into their routine, is because more so it gets you outside and it gets your body moving. And when you're on a walk, you can't be on your phone, you can't be checking notifications, and it really just helps you get into a more positive headspace. You chuck on a podcast, you chuck on some good music, which is going to give you motivation, because you're getting a little dopamine spike, you're outside, you might be getting some sunshine, everything just feels better when you're outside and on a walk. So that is why I recommend walking. Everybody should be walking. The human body is made to be moving, and you know, if walking is such an easy thing to do. So yes, I recommend walking, not just for fat loss, but just for general health and well-being, and also for your mental health as well. Next question, can I eat bread and still lose weight? The answer is yes, you can literally eat anything and still lose weight. So if you want to eat Macca's, if you want to eat pizza and burgers and wine, you can eat anything and still lose weight. But remember, how you feel your body is how you're going to feel. So you want to make sure that you're eating at least 80 to 90% of whole foods, good foods, lots of vegetables, lots of fruit, lots of good quality meats, all of those things that are going to give you energy and help you feel alive and thriving and get all the vitamins and nutrients that your body actually needs to feel good. But in saying that, I truly believe that 80-20 rule is like the best kind of rule. So you want 80% of the time you're focusing on whole foods, good nutritious foods, and then 20% of the time you're out there enjoying yourself. You're having a little bit of chocky, you're having some bread, you're having all of those things, that soul foods that actually make you feel so good as well. And then the last question for today's episode is, why do I see carbs and instantly gain weight? I think this is maybe a mindset thing. I think maybe there's been some sort of history that you have been cutting out carbs maybe, and now you've got a bad relationship with food. But I think if you actually tracked your calories for a while and you started to realize that, you know, you were in a calorie deficit and you could still eat carbs, then you'll realize that you can eat carbs and they don't make you gain weight. I think another thing that can really tie into this is if you are weighing yourself on scales, perhaps, you know, and maybe all of a sudden you eat a little bit more food and the scale jumps up really quickly, but actually that's not fat, and it's most likely just either food in your belly or water weight. So I think it's really important to understand the difference between water weight and fat, and you know, have that knowledge behind you so that you can continue on your journey without feeling disheartened by fluctuations on the scale. No one food makes you gain weight. You can't look at food and gain weight. It's not physically possible. So just make sure that if you're on a fat loss journey, you want to be tracking your calories in an app like MyFitnessPal. You want to make sure that you're only in a deficit of around 10 to 15% from your maintenance, because this is still going to allow for enough energy for you to have, you know, energy to do things and enjoy the process. Yes, it's going to be a little bit slower, but slow fat loss is good fat loss, because that means you'll be able to keep it off in the long run and you'll just enjoy the process a lot more. There's nothing worse than having to restrict food, you know, cut back so low and only eat like 1,200 calories, not being able to maintain it, not enjoying it, and then just like throwing in the towel because it's not sustainable. So you want to make sure that you're creating a diet and a lifestyle and a calorie deficit that is enjoyable for you, that is allowing all foods, and that makes you feel empowered, gives you energy, whilst also reaching your fat loss goals. If you have any other questions about fat loss, please drop them below. I would be so happy to help. Come and find me here on Instagram. Drop into my DMs with any questions as well. I put up question boxes like this every single week with specific topics or just anything that you have questions about. I love answering them. So come on over. Don't be shy, join my community. Hit that subscribe button if you liked this, let me know so I can bring out more videos like this to YouTube as well. And then lastly, if you are wanting to lose fat and you're feeling a little bit disheartened or you don't know where to start, I do have a 3-kilo fat loss challenge that you can find below. I'm going to give you a cheeky little 50% discount for watching this far in the video. So all that information will be below. It is a really fun challenge that will help you understand how fat loss works. I'll create your deficit and your macros for you, your calories and your macros for you, so that you know exactly what you can eat. There's recipe books, there's pre-recorded videos on so many things, how to manage social occasions, so that you can really understand fat loss and make it a really enjoyable process so that you can lose fat and keep it off for life. I've had so many clients have great success with this program, so check it out below and I'll see you in the next video.